All right, please read.
Dad,
Yes.
you know the Hercules, that guy you called Rock?
Yeah.
He's in the movie Journey too.
To the earth.
I think so.
Journey to the center of the earth. That was a movie I saw as a kid. It was a very nice movie as a kid, and it was way different than this one, I imagine.
Why?
It probably didn't have as many fancy scenes. Like over here, I heard that there were islands and things like that. And the one I saw, they were just inside a cave making the movie. So when you would look at it, you would say, they're just in a cave. It wouldn't be anything fancy.
Was it The Rock?
No, he wasn't. He was probably born the year that movie was made. It was black and white probably. But what happens is if it's a nice story, like Hercules,
Like it hits, it's a hit.
then they
They
make
always make it better.
it. And 20 years from now, they'll make another Hercules. Half God, half human. It's the same story as Jesus. You see where everything... Once you read about Jesus, you say, wow, that's the same story as Hercules, except that Jesus did not have super muscles, super beefed up.
He wasn't.
But it's the same story as Samson. Now you see?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I thought the Bible said not to be violent. Samson was like opposite.
Yeah, that's why some people say, the Bible, I don't understand the Bible. It says, love your enemies, love your enemies. And then
Samson
it
loved
says,
them with the bone of the jaw.
the jawbone of a donkey, yeah. I would say that Samson was mostly masculine.
Mostly?
Mostly.
Why?
A very masculine man. If he wanted a woman, just grab her. Who's going to rescue her? They didn't have guns back then. And bows and arrows, they did have. And swords, they did have. But Samson, against a sword, I guess he would grab something like a jawbone. He must have... If he had a jawbone, what did the other guys have? It was an army, by the way, that he defeated. Army of 1,000 men.
Where would he find a jawbone? Oh, look, a jawbone. Out of nowhere.
Well, back then, there were lions walking around, things like that.
Yeah.
And the lion could have eaten the donkey.
Except it.
Nobody buried the donkey. It may have been dry. It may have been a rainy season. I don't know. We got to read more about the weather over there. I don't want you to go to the Jerusalem, though.
What is Jerusalem now?
It's the city of King David. Now it's divided by the Christians, which are the Catholics over there. The Jews.
What state is it now in Jews? Or city or whatever?
Israel is the country.
But what is the country? What's its name now?
Jerusalem. It hasn't changed. That's why when you read about the Bible, you say, what? You mean that Lot's wife is still there? He said, yes. And if you go to Turkey, I think that's where it is, the Noah's Ark, when you get on an airplane or a helicopter and you look, you say, that looks like a ship. It's on top of a mountain, covered with grass, but it still looks like a ship. And when you land, it says the Valley of Eight. Where you land on, there's a mountain peak. Then there's a flat area.
Yeah.
When you get down from the mountain to the flat area, it's called the Valley of 8. And you ask everybody, why is this called the Valley of 8? Nobody knows. But then you ask a scientist or somebody that studies the Bible, or you ask somebody like that, and they say Noah and his wife. That's 2. Three boys. That's 3 boys and 3 wives for the boys. How many? 8. You see, very few people know these little details.
But in the movie, Noah, there was only one.
Yeah, that's why they say, why in the movie it's weird. So then you gotta say,
Well, that is Hollywood.
but then you see how everything gets mixed?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Jesus, he had a machete. No, he had a sword.
Now you want to come inside?
You know, he had a sword. Please wear shoes, my son.
Okay.
So, somebody once said, if I was Satan and I wanted to confuse people about religion, I would tell stories about Jesus with different people's names. Jesus, he was half God, half human, just like
God.
Zeus.
Oh, Zeus. No Hercules.
Now,
Zeus was all God.
no. Oh, you're right, Hercules, the son of Zeus, yes. Samson, boom, confuse it with Hercules. You see how they're
similar. So.
they put similar things? What's happening is, an old man told me, Satan wanted to erase Jehovah out of the Bible. The name Jehovah, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. But if you look in the Bible, nobody knows the name of Satan.
Except Satan.
And his creator. Who created him?
God.
Yes. So, when you read the book with the guy that had the gold chain on the cover of the book, the black boy, who was Egyptian,
Yeah.
he had the power to open a drawer and pull out a panther. Well, he put a panther in there when the panther attacked him. He was a wizard.
Right.
Remember that? What?
Cain Chronicles.
Cain Chronicles. So, in that story,
I think it was a Red Pyramid.
the what?
The first book is an awesome book. The second, it's not interesting.
What was the first book's name?
The Red Pyramid.
The Red Pyramid. In that book, no one knew the name of some magician or something, somebody in that book, remember? And if you could say the name, then you could trap it. Remember that stuff? That's the same as in the Bible, that an old man that reads the Bible from the Jehovah's Witnesses told me that the word Jehovah was taken out of the Bible, but it has been put back. And it wasn't completely taken out because they didn't have computers back then. So it was goofed up somewhere, the letters JWH or JHWH or something, whatever the letters are.
OVO. Or
Yahweh. Ooh, all of that. They're still in the Bible.
yeah.
And now somebody recently, in about the last 5-10 years or so, made a new version of the Bible where the word Jehovah is put back into it. Instead of using the word Lord, they put the word Jehovah. So to me, it doesn't matter what God's name is. In one translation, it said, I am that I am. That was his name. In another one, it was Yahweh. and another one it was Elohim. But all of these, maybe we don't pronounce the words the same way as the people 2,000 years ago
Gold.
or 4,000 years ago, you see? So I don't get into arguments about that. I don't get into arguments usually. It doesn't matter. However, Satan wanted to take God's name out of the Bible, and he succeeded for a time. Now people are putting it back into the Bible, and they're calling him Jehovah in English, Jehovah in Spanish. The main thing is Jesus is the way to God according to the Bible. So the Jews back then said Jesus is not the Son of God. Lower the volume, please, daughter. And I'm waiting for you.